Hi everybody, Yafa here. It is Monday, March 16th, and for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be revving up my YouTube channel. It's not going to be fancy or super edited or expertly shot with a $1 million camera. It's just going to be me talking about ADHD. If you have questions that you want me to answer, either put them in the comments below or you can email me at coach@blocktobrilliant.com and I will answer you via a video on YouTube. If you want to be anonymous, then I would suggest emailing me at coach@blocktobrilliant.com. I won't use your name regardless, even if you put a question down below. What else? Oh, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, that will be awesome because then you'll be notified, or you can be notified when new videos come up. I'm hoping to do Q&A a couple times a week, and then another couple times a week do talk about something that is topical, either that a parent has talked to me about, or a client, or that's come up in the past with clients. So there'll be a variety of topics about parenting, mostly about parenting ADHD kids, but also some topics for teachers and for kids and teens. So I want to read this question. So hang on here. So I got a question that says, my question is around friendship. My daughter is 10 and has ADD. She struggles with two things: fear of rejection, so she isolates herself, and secondly, being a bit too much and not knowing when to step back a little in a friendship. She has a good friend and then loses a friend, and here's the comment that she is annoying. It breaks my heart. How do I teach her about the give and take of friendship? Well, I can definitely relate to this because that's how I was. I just remember in college somebody saying, you won't find a more loyal friend than Yafa, but she can be really annoying. I am no longer that, I have to say, so that's, great. And so here are the things that I wish I knew back then and the things that I've learned being a teacher and a school counselor. I can go on and on about this, so to this parent or any of the parents listening out there, if you want more information or more interaction with me, you can contact me at coach@blocktobrilliant.com, and we can talk about a short-term or a longer-term type of coaching relationship. Okay. So first of all, ADHD kids tend not to relate to their peers as well. They may relate to younger people more, or they might relate to older people more, or both. So having friends doesn't always look like what we see on TV, where all the classmates come over, or where you walk home from school with somebody that you met at school in your classes, that kind of thing. What I would do is, first of all, trying to teach your child about friendship is a good idea. It's also hard because if your daughter doesn't have those concepts, it's hard for her to assimilate what you're saying. And it sounds like your daughter doesn't have those concepts. So one of the things, so interestingly enough that you bring this up, really early on, the only literature that was out there was about juvenile delinquents with what was then called either, when I was diagnosed, it was called minimal brain dysfunction. or it could have been called hyperkinesis, hyperactivity. So, um, and the idea was that they couldn't put themselves into somebody else's shoes, so they couldn't understand the idea of remorse or give and take because they couldn't relate to the other person. Um, their their relating to somebody else was more about what do I need, and not in a selfish way. They just didn't have the skills. It may have looked selfish or self-centered, but they just didn't have the skills or the concepts. So things that helped me were, like I said, I had some younger friends. That was helpful. I got involved with my synagogue. That was also helpful because there were like built in, it was a built in community of kids and teens. So that was helpful because I got to see how people interacted. And for me, a lot of ADHD learning, because I was diagnosed so long ago, almost 40 years, um, was through observation. So, so getting back to the solutions, one of the things you can do is watch TV shows together. And then you don't need to have, you may want to have an actual conversation. But one thing you can do that's even easier is, and I did this with my kids, my stepkids, because it's probably because of who I am. But like something would come on TV, like we'd be watching Law and Order, not when they were 10, but and some teenager on Law and Order would do something that was like really stupid, like, you know, go out without his or her cell phone and go to some seedy area in New York. And I would say, that's a really bad idea. She could get kidnapped or he could get, stabbed or whatever. And so it's not that I was exactly trying to teach them, but teach them what to do, but rather I was trying to teach them or show them or tell them, here are my values. And they learned from them, from what I would say. So situations where you're observing things and then saying, oh, I don't think I would have done that. Or I wonder if she's sorry she did that. Just things like that, even if you're watching a Disney cartoon. Because like Aladdin, he lies all the time. I don't even know why Jasmine got with Aladdin because he's a big liar. So my point is that you can find this stuff in anything. Is this the way to grow a friendship? I also really believe that it's super important for kids to be around a lot of adults. Perhaps you have some friends, Mom, you have some friends who they're your friends, but they have a special interest in your child, or they have a specialty, something that they're good at doing that your daughter might be interested in. Like one of my clients had a friend, one of my clients, how do I say this? Okay, so one of my clients, the parents of one of my clients was really good at building cars, like I don't even know what we call them, like race car type of situations, like handmade ones, homemade ones. And so my client, the teen would go and hang out there sometimes and help him out. It could be something they do for, a minimal amount of money, or it could be something they do for free. My mother's best friend taught me how to read. It's not that my mother couldn't, but that was a specialty of my mother's best friend. So she's the one that taught me to read. And I had a very close relationship with her for decades. And that was a really important relationship in my life. And I think what's most important is for it. I don't think the key is that they have relationships with kids their age. I think the key is that they have friendships, period. And so even if they're having friendships with with adults, those adults are guiding them in different ways. Your daughter will be able to observe how the adult behaves and learn from that. Um, but remember also that a lot of ADHD learning is through repetition. So just going to, you know, just talking about something once or just going to this adult's house once is not going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So I'm trying to read the rest, not knowing when to step back. I think that when if your daughter comes home and is crying or upset about this, I mean, that's really, really common with girls, like tween and teen girls anyway. Um, but what I would do is listen and reassure. You don't have to disregard it. You don't have to say, um, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But you can say it will get better. Um, that's a really important thing for somebody to hear. And provide them with opportunities to learn. Also, like I did get along with younger people, but I mostly got along with adults because um, my social skills were not good with anybody, but my brain was really good with adults. So I was in like a stamp club, and I was like the other young person was 17, 18, 19 years old, and I was like 7, um, and all the rest were adults. And I mean, it was a bit uncomfortable, but they all welcomed me, um, especially when we had a contest and I got second place. And then everybody was like, yowza. Um, I was in a coin club. I collected different things. So looking around your community and seeing what kinds of activities, like maybe they're on meetup.com. What kinds of activities are there for your child that might be interesting to her that aren't standard for somebody her own age? Um, and just keep doing what you're doing as far as loving her and nurturing her and consoling her. These are really important things, and um, it it will change because development moves in a progressive direction. So it will change, but remember, we are late bloomers. We're not non-bloomers, we are late bloomers. So remember that it will take time, and it'll take more time than you anticipated at some point when you thought about having a child, or as you watched your child, or as you watch another one of your children do much better with friends. But that doesn't mean it won't happen. So um, you having confidence in the process and confidence in the way the world works will go a long way to help her feel more secure too. Um, that it won't always be like this, because there, to a certain extent, I know with me, I felt like there was something wrong with me, and in a sense there was, because I did annoy people, and I could be overbearing and all of that kind of stuff. That's not to say that my ADHD was the problem, but just this way of that it manifested was problematic for me and for others. But learning what to do takes you back to this sort of status quo of, ADHD it's just about learning skills. It's not about changing who you are or looking at yourself as having a deficit. It's about learning what people do. So I hope this is helpful. Again, to you and to anybody listening, If you have any questions, just post them below, or email me at coach@blocktobrilliant.com. Cool. All right. I will talk to you in a few. Bye-bye.